Okay, joining us now is Senator Roger Marshall. Senator, thank you so much for taking the time. So the big, beautiful bill passed last evening, and now you guys got to get to work. What are you expecting? What is the process? And then let's get down into the particulars. And I think our audience needs to learn that you guys can make changes to the bill, and then there's a process of reconciliation between the two chambers. Is that correct? Senator, please walk us through it.
Yeah, Charlie. First of all, are you tired of winning? I mean, my gosh, that clip that's going viral there with you, President Trump, a big win last night, and just congratulations to him, as well as Speaker Mike Johnson. President Trump is the best closer in the country. So Mike Johnson gave us the best bill that he could get passed over there. Think of the Senate as like a saucer, and think of the House as a hot cup of coffee and it's spilling over. The job of the Senate is to take that bill and make it better. I think for us over here, what I'm looking at is where can we save some more taxpayers' dollars? Where are the opportunities to cut some spending? What do we do with those SALT taxes? So I think that's the big thrust over is here. How can we make this bill better? How can we deliver on President Trump's promises? No tax on tips, overtime, Social Security, make the Trump tax cuts permanent. This bill has the potential to save an American family $1,000 a month. So that's how important this bill is.
So what is again, I'm getting cut off the speed here. What was the final result of SALT out of the House? What did they finally vote on? And what do you think its future would be in the Senate? And just give our audience a quick reminder of what state and local tax deductions are.
Right. So in these big blue states, they have high taxes and they're able to deduct that from their federal taxes. So what the House has done will still cost American taxpayers $300 billion over the next 10 years. So they're going to let people from these blue states write off up to $30,000 of their taxes, which will decrease revenue to the state. So this feels like people from Kansas are subsidizing
100%. I'm right there with you. Sorry to interrupt you. Keep going. I think SALT is a scam that punishes great states like Kansas. Please keep going.
Yeah. It is that simple, to the tune of $300 billion over 10 years. So what else could we do with that $300 billion? We could deliver the president's golden dome. That would be one simple thing, and more. We would take that money and make Medicaid and Medicare even better. There's just better ways to spend that money. We can use it to secure the border, to help our military out, to give our troops more wages, all those types. It's real money, $300 billion.
And so then what is here's where people get a little confused. How is it that a bill can pass the House and then change in the Senate? And is it possible to now bring maybe the SALT deduction down to $10,000? That would actually help us close the deficit a little bit. And again, just to reinforce this, SALT is essentially saying, California, you can't run a good state. New York, you can't run a good state. Therefore, you have ridiculous pension problems and you have outrageous mass migration and the dumbest type of spending policies. And we're going to now subsidize that. Do you think we can maybe crawl it back to a $10,000 deduction, which would save hundreds of billions of dollars?
So it's at $10,000 now, as I recall. So SALT stands for state and local taxes. So if your state and local taxes are high, the more motivated you are to try to write those off. Most Kansans wouldn't have $10,000 of state and local taxes to write off. But to answer your question, so the House passed a bill. We could pass their bill exactly as it is. And it's a good bill. It's probably got 80-90% of what I'd like to see in it. But if the Senate makes any major changes, it'll have to go back to the House a second time. And that's where the tricky part is, Charlie. As much as you and I want to face this federal budget, we also got to pass it, and we don't want to lose the House. So there's a dozen House members, and I'm making that number up. I'm not sure how many House members are that are really from these purple districts with high property taxes, that they may not get reelected. They may not get reelected anyway, but I can sure tell you, for damn sure I can tell you, that if we don't get some type of a good, big, beautiful bill out of here, none of us should get reelected.
There's a lot of talk about what's happening in Israel right now. Hostages being released, terrorists resurfacing, Gaza plans, and so on. But there's one thing we tend to overlook: the people of Israel. The war has taken a huge physical and emotional toll on the Jewish people. And that's why I want you to know about the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. And I want you to support the important work they do. IFCJ is on the ground throughout Israel, providing food and life-saving aid to the sick and elderly, even released hostages and their families. Join with me and visit ifcj.org/learn more. And so The other elements, let's just brag on some of the good stuff that people don't know about what's in the bill. We are taxing remittances for the first time ever, which is a financial penalty for illegal immigration into the United States of America. It's the largest border funding and border security bill in American history. We're getting illegals off Medicaid, which is major and it is massive. We are also seeing no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I don't think we got no tax on Social Security, but hopefully eventually we'll get that. We're doing work requirements and means testing. We are also seeing the Golden Dome investment. Please brag, Senator, on some of your favorite elements of this bill, because there's a lot more goodies in this bill than I think our audience even realizes at times.
Right. So what we did with Social Security, since by the law we cannot touch Social Security, but what we did is we're giving seniors a $4,000 tax credit in addition. So essentially we're not going to tax their tips or tax their Social Security, but doing it in a different way. We increased the child tax credit. Look, Republicans doubled the tax credit in 2017 with this bill, and now we increased it another $500. So we increased the tax deduction for having children to $2,500 as well. That would be another answer. A little Second Amendment we've slipped in there. There's some rules and regulations around what I would call a silencer, a muffler on guns, that type of thing. So there are a whole lot of low-hanging fruit in here. The Golden Dome is in here. President Trump's Golden Dome, the first down payment on some type of satellite system to help intercept nuclear warheads, that type of thing. Huge pay raises for our troops, for the Border Patrol officers, funding to help get those illegal aliens out of this country. We have 400,000 violent criminal aliens in this country. It is way more expensive, Charlie. It may cost $100,000 per person to escort them out of this country. Thank you, Joe Biden. And we'll take care of that for 4 years. We don't have to go back to the Democrats every year and say, hey, we want money for the border. We want money for the military. So we have significant money in here to take care of the military, for the most part, for 4 years, and the president's border security and the removal of illegal aliens.
So I'm confident that this will pass. I know that you are a pro-life warrior from Kansas, and thank you for that. It did pass in the current form of defunding of Planned Parenthood. I'm told that I could run into a little bit of a thicket in the U.S. Senate. Susan Collins, who I really like, she actually has always said that she is pro-choice and that this is a red line. Do you think that there is an opportunity to keep defunding of Planned Parenthood in there? I know that discussion is ongoing. And what is your message to pro-life warriors that have been fighting so hard for this cause for years?
Oh my gosh. So I assume that we're losing Susan Collins' vote no matter what. So we have to 50. I think we'll lose her on Medicaid, a few other, and I respect her. She is representing a Democrat state.
I get it. I totally agree. She's an R and a D state. You got to cut a lot of margin there. Please keep going.
But nobody else has an excuse. Charlie.
I agree.
Nobody
else
I agree. Has a damn excuse, and they need to get in here and play the game. And if you get 90% of what you want, we better pass this bill and move on. And I'm sick about where our federal deficit is now. We could come back and do 5 shows on that. We spent an hour yesterday as a Republican caucus talking about the national debt and what's going on with selling our treasuries, that type of thing as well. But I do think we get there. My message to my pro-life people is this. You know, we did what we wanted to do. We sent most of the issues back to the state. And now the states need to do their job as well, but we're still losing 1 million babies every year. A million. Most of them are from this abortion pill, and we're trying to do some things there to curve the edges around it. They're able to you call up and basically mail order this pill without having any idea how far along the patient is. So I'm working on that up here. But Planned Parenthood is the #1 source of not just the abortions, but this abortion pill as well. So we'll defund them, and this is probably the second biggest day for the pro-life group after the Dobbs decision, I think, if we get this across the finish line.
Really quick, thank you for that, and I pray we can keep the defunding of Planned Parenthood in this bill. So fight hard for that, Senator. The base is really watching on that. MAHA report is out. I know you're the chair of the MAHA Commission. What can we expect, or what is in it, Senator? About a minute and a half remaining.
Look, I think #1 when I think about Make America Healthy Again, is 60% of Americans have a chronic disease of some sort. Most of it is nutritionally related or related to toxins. So I expect this MAHA report to talk about the importance of soil health and the nutrient quality that we're feeding to our especially our children. For whatever reason, I'm especially concerned about the children, getting them off to the right foot as well. The toxins that they're being exposed to are probably in these ultra processed foods. So a big 70% of the calories Americans consume are in ultra processed foods. So I think that they'll address that as well. I made a few notes. What else? Gold standard science. I really, as a doctor, can't sit there and say what type of oil is best to cook supper in tonight. Is it soybean oil? Is it tallow? What is it? So we need gold standard research, not influenced by commercial operations as well. Look, 60% of Americans are on a prescription drug right now. And I think we want to look into what that's all about as well.
Senator, keep up the great work and get your colleagues in the ring. Cut some slack for Susan Collins. The rest of them have no excuses. Pass it, be bold, be courageous, be transparent, and let's deliver a win together. Thank you so much, Senator.
Yeah, that's right. Let's make America great again. Thank
Amen.
you.
Thank you, Senator. Keep fighting. Great job.